Hey, it's Todd with Defense and Safety with another knife review. A few reviews ago, I did the Benchmade 707 sequel, and I said I thought it might be the very best under 3-inch EDC knife, and I just want to say I stand by that. And I think I have found the greater than 3.5-inch perfect EDC. And as you can tell, it's a Microtech. I got it from Blade Ops, and I'd always liked this nice design, and had considered it. The only thing that stopped me from buying it was that it's not able to switch the pocket clip for a left-handed carry. There's certainly workarounds for that. I've carried other knives that are right-hand only carry on my left side. So that was one of the things that stopped me from buying it. The other was the cost, but what pushed me over the edge was J. Davis 88 was doing some cutting tests, and this knife typically comes in S35VN, but they do make another blade version of the Socom Elite manual action that has more of a super steel, and based on his cutting tests, it pushed it over the edge for me, and I had to have it. And I googled it, and the last one in this steel was on Blade Ops, and it happened to be an all blacked out version, which is awesome. So I'll talk about that in a minute. And the other thing I like about this blade is it comes in a nice belt sheath. You can take it off with Velcro or just throw your belt loop right through it. You can adjust this for tightness. And the reason I like it is sometimes when I hike or go camping, I like to have more than one knife on me that's large. So I might have another fixed blade or another knife, and so if one's in my pocket, I want to have one on my belt. So again, you already know this is the Socom Elite manual action, and this is the all black version. And I'll just focus here so you can see. It is the, if you can see it on this side there, 20 CV steel, made in November of last year, which is cool because that's the month I was born in. And it came, I would say, sharper than average. And I want to just go on record saying I think that this is absolutely my favorite blade in the 3.5 or greater than 3 inches, so 3.6 to 4 inch blade. It comes with an aluminum handle. Let's make sure this is focusing. Aluminum handle scales with this 3M grip tape inside it, and it is very grippy. I mean, it's exactly what you'd see with skateboard tape. But there's none under the clip, so it's easy on your pants. It's got a nice long clip, fairly deep carry. It's tip down right side carry only. And although it has a nice cutout when you're opening right-handed, over here on the left side there's still plenty of room to either just push it open or to flick it open. And I will say the two things that struck me when I got this and opened it for the first time was, one, the size. For whatever reason, looking at it on tape, on video, on YouTube, and on websites, it looked a little bigger, and bigger by this seemed thicker to me, like a bigger handle and a larger blade. So that was the one thing that struck me, is the size, and the other was the lightness. These aluminum scales, this thing is right in there with a military, weight-wise. I think it's like a 1/10 of an ounce more, so extremely light. This feels very light, yet the balance point is still in the center, so it's not blade heavy. The other thing is similar to a Benchmade 707 and 710. As you can see from back here where the blade starts to the handle, it's extremely space efficient. So the handle is the same size as the blade. I don't know if you can see the blade centering there is perfect. Let me get the focus here. It's perfect blade centering. And it has a carbide tip here as a glass breaker. So very easy to open. It's a titanium liner lock. Sorry, I just changed it to landscape or cinema or whatever. But you can see it's got a nice liner lock, and I would say it's at about 50% lockup, and it really hasn't moved too much, maybe just a scooch. Seems really good, doesn't stick. So I'll give you some blade size comparisons. So the first one I obviously want to compare it to is the Benchmade 710. And if you look, I haven't even compared them myself yet, so this will be interesting. They're almost identical. They're both 4-inch blades. As you can see, awesome efficiency in handle to blade ratio. If I lay the cutting edges over each other, looks like maybe the 710, if you go from right where the cutting edges start, is like a 1/16 of an inch longer. It's a thicker blade, slightly thicker. Slightly thicker blade stock, and overall it's a little thicker. But they're virtually the same weight. Another one I want to compare this to is the military. Again, very similar in size. Obviously the military is a little more curved. But again, on the blade length, you're looking at virtually identical blade length. Maybe just a 1/4 inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch more cutting edge. It's about the same thickness, maybe just slightly thinner at the blade stock is slightly thinner, but maybe, I don't know, not much. They get out to about the same thickness on the tips. And then, as you can see, the handle's not quite as efficient on the on the military. So you get just a little bit more here. That's the other thing I like about these two, is both of these kind of don't get too large, and this actually gets a little smaller. And it has jimping here, which isn't the best, but because of the ramping, it works pretty good. And there's a little bit over the top of the blade. Then there's some right at the bottom here, and here on this end, and on this end. So if you go reverse hand, you almost just hold it like this. You don't go over the top because that's not very comfortable, and it feels really good. So again, very comparable in both blade size. Obviously with the spider hole you get a little bit taller blade, but very, very, very similar to these three. And then the other blade I would compare it to, and it's almost the same weight as well, this is just slightly heavier, is the Emerson CQC 15. The handles are almost identical if I go pivot to pivot, with the tip coming out a little bit. The blade is a little bit shorter on an Emerson. It's not quite a 4-inch blade. So you do get, if you go pivot to pivot, it's virtually, I mean, it does get out there though. And it's kind of a good thing it's tipped down, because you wouldn't want this sticking up even if it were deep pocket carry. I wouldn't want this. So this really is similar to the military, being, dedicated tip down. This is the left-handed version, and I actually called these guys and asked them if they would consider making one, and they said that for them to change their machines out to build one, that it would have to be at least a $50,000 order. So needless to say, I don't think the demand is that high for this knife. That would be, probably 100,000 knives, or no, yeah, no, it'd be you have to divide it by 4 probably, or 3, so still tens of thousands of knives that they're not gonna probably be able to sell, and no one would order. But I love this knife, and I'll put a note in the description or a link to Jay Davis's cut test of this. You gotta check that out. This steel is amazing. I'm super excited about it. You know, it's interesting because you look at all three of these knives and they're all three different steels. This is S35. This is the 20 CV, 154 CM, and D2. But they're all, you know, up there in what I consider, you know, large folders, really awesome large folders. But to be honest with you, it's hard now. I mean, it's like that with every new knife, you know, it becomes your new favorite. But I don't know. I think this is it, the champ. They retail around the $275. I think the MSRP is $375. I got this on Blade Ops with a discount code, so that I got it for $260 shipped. So I was really happy about that. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a comparison of these knives. Again, I'm a big fan of kind of the 4-inch blade. I do like to carry them regularly. I will mix it up sometimes with, you know, Para 2 or a zero tolerance 350 or 551, but I tend to lean towards a 4-inch blade with a, you know, a sub 3-inch secondary EDC blade. But I am loving this blade. You can see it has a serial number, which is cool. You don't see that on a lot of knives. Nice construction. It doesn't have those goofy. They sometimes have all kinds of proprietary screws, and this has Torx bits, so that's nice also. So you don't need a special tool to get in it. I don't know what the closest this will focus is. We'll see. There we go. And they really did a great job. It even has a certified sharp sticker on the inside of the box when you open it up. I you know, I did some tests. I would say I'd like it just a little sharper, but but out of the box, this is sharp enough to do anything that you would need it to do. And from the tests that Jay Davis did, kind of the theory is you go with something like a 154 CM, where you can get it really sharp, and it won't have really super edge retention, good edge retention, but if it dulls, it's easy to sharpen. This, on the other hand, you may take it out and never need to sharpen it. And then if you do need to sharpen it, there may be a little more effort to sharpening it, but this just really stood out as having amazing edge retention, and that's what threw me, kind of made the decision that I had to have one. So thanks to John for making me buy a $260 knife. And so I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and if you like my channel, please subscribe.